price came up and it liquidated that high, which wasn't too much of a surprise because there was no inducement in the leg. Nothing was built to the right. So the only available liquidity in that instance is behind the high. Okay. So I do have a entry model in my plan that when I have an M15 structural high, if that high gets swept and then I get my lower time frame confirmations, that is a valid setup within my training plan to then look for an entry from within here to then target that level. Now, this was a bit of a discretionary trade for me because for the rules that I have for structure, this is not a valid high on the M15, okay? Because all of these candles broke the previous candle's low. So for me, there was no fractal pullback just with the mechanical rules that I use. It might be different for you, but for me, it doesn't count. So I used a bit of discretion this time and basically said to myself, if that high gets liquidated and if I get my lower time frame confirmations that tell me I need to confirm that it's a liquidity sweep rather than a break to show bullish intent, then I'll be happy to hit the trade, okay? And spoiler alert, that's what ended up happening. So the price came up and it liquidated that high, which wasn't too much of a surprise because there was no inducement in the leg. Nothing was built to the right. So the only available liquidity in that instance is behind the high, okay? So I was anticipating that high would go and I was ready to either hit a short here on the liquidation of that high if I got my lower time frame confirmation, or simply wait for the M15 supply zone to be hit and then again look for my lower time frame confirmations. You need to have super mechanical rules for management because that's when typically emotions are their highest, right, for most people when you see your P&L floating. So that's why I like to have my management as super hands-off as possible, and I simply do nothing or I wait for my break-even trigger to go off with the rule that I'm using at the moment. And I didn't get that, so nothing. You just have to be patient, let it float around for about half an hour, whatever it was, 20 minutes, and then I got stopped out, okay? No big deal. So do not just sit in your lower time frame, looking for a revenge trade or whatever.